Hello everybody, Emad Hanna here from CyberStockroom. In this video I'm going to give you a brief demo of our software. Now, I won't be able to cover everything, but if you watch this video, you should have a really good idea of what to expect and what you can do with CyberStockroom. So let's jump right in. If you've ever used inventory or asset management software, you already know that it doesn't usually look like this. What most people are expecting to see is a list of products, something like this. But instead here we have a map. So what's the story? What's with the map? Well, we've been obsessing about inventory and asset management for years. And one thing we've learned is that to really get a sense of control over your items, to get real visibility into your operations, you have to start with the question of where things are located. This is something we all do naturally. If I ask you to think about the inventory in your warehouse or your store or your IT department, you're going to start thinking spatially. You're going to think, okay, I've got a building and it's got 2 floors, and in the top floor there's 5 rooms with shelves and bins and closets, right? And maybe you have trucks and garages, whatever. The point is that you always start with locations, not with products. And that's the secret sauce in our software. When you start using CyberStockroom, you start by building a map. Now, the map is completely open-ended. You build it any way you like. It can be simple or it can be very complex. Some of our customers have created enormous maps of buildings and warehouses that go down to the individual bin level. It really doesn't matter whether you're a warehouse, a lab, an IT service desk. Whatever the business looks like, you create the map to match it. One of the interesting things about a map like this is that different people in the business may think of these locations differently. And that's why each user can rearrange their own map. So let's say you work almost exclusively out of a storage building, checking things in and out. Well, you probably want to have that location front and center in the layout because you use it every day. So everybody shares the same locations, but the way those locations are laid out can be different for each user. Okay, so we have this map, but what's the point? Why is this important? Well, there's lots of reasons. First, you probably noticed that the map is color-coded. Wherever you see green, that means there's products there, and where you see white, you know that it's an empty location. So right away, without doing anything else, you already have some indication of how your inventory is distributed. Right here, I haven't shown you anything about the products, but just by looking at this map, you can learn quite a bit about what this business looks like and where the inventory is currently located. Okay, so let's pick one of these locations here. In this stockroom, we have 3 closets. In the first one, there's 3 shelves, and on the first shelf, there's 2 bins. From the map, we know that there's something in the yellow bin. In fact, we know that there are 329 items in there. What are they? Let's zoom into that location. We just click the view icon, and it will take us to the contents of that location. Okay, so this is the more traditional view that a lot of people are familiar with. This is showing us the products and quantities inside the yellow bin. So we can dive into any location or sublocation on the map to see the contents. If we wanted to, we can also view all the locations at once to see the total number of items across the whole business. But here's where the map gets really interesting. Let's say I'm interested in the blue widget here. I can see that I have 152 of them in the yellow bin. Let's click on that product. So on the left side, we're going to see that product with all its details and custom fields. And on the right side, we're going to see the map again. Same map as before, but now it's showing us how this specific product, the blue widget, is distributed across the business. This screen provides a huge amount of visibility. Think about this. Suppose that I gave you a list containing the quantity at each of these locations for the blue widget, and suppose that you studied this list carefully for 10 minutes. Now, even if you have a great memory, you're probably still going to be a little uncertain and a little vague about exactly where everything is. On the other hand, if you look at this map here for a few seconds, this map that you yourself created, that you use, and that you see every day, immediately, just from the color coding alone, you will have a really good idea of where everything is. That's what we mean by inventory and asset visibility. It's the difference between memorizing numbers and seeing a picture. That's the difference between using a list and using a map. And that's how you can stay in control of your items. So this visibility, it happens on 3 different levels. You can see the whole map with all the products at once. You can zoom in to any of the locations to get a listing of the contents. And you can also select any product and see its distribution. The other thing that the map does for us is that it makes an excellent dashboard for any inventory operation. For instance, we have the map for the blue widget here. Let's say we just counted bin 1 inside of closet 3, and we realize that instead of 28 items, we actually have 34. Well, we can jump right in and make the adjustment on the fly. That might look like a really small and insignificant adjustment, but it's really the map that makes it so direct and so easy. Because if we have to do the same thing using lists and drop-down menus, it would look a lot more complicated. Here's another example to think about. Let's go back to the map of all of our products. Suppose that I'm taking a couple of things out of bin 1 in closet 3 and loading them onto Jane's truck over here. Well, if you're using tables and lists and spreadsheets, that's going to be ugly. But here we can just drag and drop between the locations. We see the existing contents of the bin, and we can select a few or all the contents, and off we go. There's tons of ways in which the map makes things easier and more intuitive, but for the purpose of this video, I won't be able to go into everything. But I do hope that from this short demo, you can see the value and the logic of using a map to manage inventory and assets. I encourage you to sign up for a free trial and start building your own map and experimenting with all of this. And of course, if you like, you can set up a personal demo with us so we can walk you through the rest of it and answer any of your questions. Thank you for watching.